Hello everyone and welcome back to Whiz. I'm Priyadarshan Babu here, your host master, and I'm here with the answers for yesterday's 5 questions and 5 more interesting new questions for you today. So I hope that you are looking forward to my video, and I hope to see a lot of responses and answers in the comments below after today's quiz. So without wasting any further time, let's start off with the answers for yesterday's 5 questions. So here comes question number 1 for yesterday. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, saw a huge opportunity, so he invested $500,000 into this company in 2004. He sold it at a huge valuation amounting to 1 billion USD in 2012. Which company did he invest in? So the name of the company that he invested in is actually very famous company. It's one of the biggest social media networks that we have, and we are talking about Facebook. So that was the answer for the first question. Moving on to question number 2. When Larry Page and Sergey Brin left Stanford to form Google Stanford, Stanford got 1.8 million shares of Google. Why did they get these shares when some student left their educational institution? So this was the question. The answer is a bit tricky, so pay attention as I tell you. Work on Google's search algorithm known as PageRank took place with the aid of Stanford University, while Larry Page and Sergey Brin were studying at Stanford. As such, when Larry Page was granted a patent for the algorithm, it was assigned to Stanford, not him. When the two left to form Google, Stanford received 1.8 million shares of Google stock in exchange for their long-term patent license. So that is how Stanford initially had 1.8 million shares of Google. So that was our second question. Moving on to our third question for yesterday. Personal dash. Something that you would represent an individual, so you could assign a dash. Not to a place, not to a desk, not to a home, but to a person. It was stated that this vision was inspired by Captain James T. Kirk of Star Trek fame. But the founder himself later said that it was actually an inspiration from Dick Tracy's The Comic Strip character. So what was the invention that we were talking about? Now a lot of big names, a lot of big words and a long question. The answer is very simple. The answer that we were looking for is the first cell phone by Martin Cooper. The blanks are telephone and number. So now you can replace the blanks with telephone and number and see how that whole statement makes sense. So that was our third question. Moving on to our fourth question for yesterday. In 1940, brothers Richard and Maurice opened up a barbecue joint in San Bernardino, California, which is now a museum. In 1986, Pam Woodall of The Economist magazine created a concept based on this joint to explain the exchange rate theory. What did he create? So the thing that he created is known now as the Big Mac Index. Richard McDonald and Maurice McDonald opened the first McDonald's restaurant in the world. So this is how McDonald's has originated. So that was our fourth question. And now moving on to our fifth question, here we go. Gabriel Joseph Grenier invented the Org Expressive or the expressive organ because his reed instrument had a wider range and could produce crescendos and diminuendos. Alexander Debian of France further developed Grenier's instrument, patented it in 1840 and named it dash, which believed to be originated as an Indian instrument, which is this instrument that we are talking about. So in our common language in Hindi, we call it as the peti. So the instrument that we are talking about is actually the harmonium. So that was our last question for yesterday. And now moving on to our 5 questions for today. So I hope you're ready and I hope you're excited for them. Here comes question number 1 for today. The eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia had caused severe climate abnormalities and a lot of rain. A family of 4 got stuck inside a hotel in Switzerland and decided to spend the time by reading ghost stories from the book Phantasmagoria. It was then that one of them proposed that they should have a competition to see who could come up with the best ghost story. In the end, of course, Mary won the contest. Which novel came out of this competition? So I want you to tell me the name of this novel. It's something that it's something that especially children enjoy reading. So you can think about the genre is horror, and I've given you a hint that these children enjoy reading it. So I would like to see what your guess is. That was our first question. Moving on to our second question for today. In 1995, the chairman of this group reportedly found himself frustrated with the quality of his products and the company's lack to change. To drive his point home, numerous phones were stacked up high, joined by televisions, fax machines, and other gear. Lee, this person, and his board of directors then proceeded to destroy each and every one of these products, even going so far as to break the cases and screens with heavy hammers. As the story goes, he made sure around 2,000 employees witnessed this. That day, more than $50 million worth of hardware was destroyed. This incident made the employees put in the best of their effort and helped the company to reach the company to much bigger heights and created several firsts in the electronic industry. Which entity are we talking about, and what is the name of the person? So that was our second question. Moving on to our third question for today. The style was particularly unique at the time, as it was one of the first disciplines to make use of the short sword and the long sword together. The name of the style translates to two swords as one, or two heavens as one. Name this distinct sword fighting style founded by Miyamoto Musashi. So I want you to tell me the style of sword fighting with one long sword and one short sword. So that was our third question. Moving on to our fourth question. Here it goes. Only one of its kind, a specialty museum. What is the name of this museum, or what is the specialty that this museum holds? And just to help you out, you should be able to see an image right about now. And that was our fourth question. Now, moving on to our last question for today. Before I ask you the question, have a look at this picture which is coming up on your screen right about now. So now that you've seen the picture, the question is very simple. This is the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world. So what is the name of this castle? So that sums up all our questions for today. I hope you enjoyed the questions. I hope you enjoyed the answers for yesterday's questions. I will be waiting for your answers in the comments below. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow with 5 more answers and 5 more questions. So please do stay tuned in. Till then, please stay safe, take care, good night, and let's keep quizzing.